First Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 16 through 17 talks about second coming of Jesus Christ. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel, with the trumpet call of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. After that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so we will be with the Lord forever. As I make presentation, I want you to remember the word caught up and to meet the Lord. The word rapture comes from verse 17, caught up. In Greek is harpagesometa. When it is translated into Latin, it was rapio. So when the Latin word rapio was translated into English, it became rapture. So basically rapture means you get caught up in the air when Jesus comes back. And we have different views of the word rapture. We have a pre-tribulation versus post-tribulation. Pre-tribulation is a view that believes that Jesus will come back before the great tribulation. And the post-tribulation believes that Jesus will come back after the great tribulation. People who believe in pre-tribulation, they believe that there will be literally 7 years of great tribulation. And Christ will come back just before the great tribulation starts. And then the believers who are dead in Christ will rise. And people who are alive at that time will get caught up in the air and will meet Jesus Christ. So they avoid going through great tribulation. And Christ and the believers will come back to earth after the great tribulation. And also pre-tribulation make distinction between the church and the nation Israel. So basically the church will not go through the tribulation, but the nation Israel will go through the great tribulation. And as a result, many Israelites will turn to Christ during that time. And also based on 1 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 10, which says that, and to wait for his Son from heaven, whom he raised from the dead, Jesus, who rescues us from the coming wrath. So based on this verse, people who believe in pre-tribulation thinks that Jesus Christ will rescue the believers from the coming wrath. Here the wrath they believe is a great tribulation, 7 years of tribulation. People who believe in post-tribulation, they believe that Christ will come after the great tribulation. And they believe that great tribulation is not literal 7 years. It could be less or more than 7 years. And they don't use the word rapture because they don't think that it's a biblical term. And they believe that believers will go through the persecution because throughout the history, church went through persecution. And they believe that the church will also go through the great tribulation. However, they believe that God will protect the believers during tribulation, just like God protected Israelites in Egypt when Egyptians were going through the 10 plagues. And post-tribulation, they make no distinction between the church and the nation Israel. And this is the reason why I'm kind of gearing more towards post-tribulation rather than pre-tribulation. If you look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, 17, we already read that verse. Here it says that in the middle, it says, in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. The word meet in Greek means apantesin. And there are two cases in the New Testament where this word appears. First one is Matthew chapter 25, verse 6, which talks about the 5 wise virgins versus 5 unwise virgins. When the 5 wise virgins meet the bridegroom, they also use the word, this Greek word, apatesin, and the bridegroom do not take the virgins away. Instead, they come back to the place where virgins were. And the other case is Acts chapter 28:15, which is about the believers in Rome when they found out that the Apostle Paul and his companions were coming to Rome. The believers in Rome go out to a certain place to welcome Paul and his companions, and they come back to Rome. So based on this Greek word, scholars believe that Jesus, when he comes back, the believers who are alive will meet the Lord in the air, but they will come back to earth. So based on this evidence, I'm kind of gearing more towards post-tribulation. Now what? We have pre-trib versus post-trib. They are both believers. They both believe in second coming of Jesus Christ, but they have a different way of interpreting the Bible. So are we going to keep fight who's right and wrong? No. I think we need to learn. We need to agree to disagree. Even though we have different views, whether you're a pre-trib or post-trib, I think we need to respect others' views because it's just a way. It's just a different way of analyzing and interpreting the Bible. And I like the fact that pre-trib focuses more on the fact that Jesus could come at any moment, that it is imminent, that Jesus will come like a thief in the night, and we must be alert. And I like the fact that post-trib believe that believers need to be ready to go through persecution. So we know for sure that Jesus will come back, and we need to have this mindset that we need to be alert, and we need to have a mindset that we could face Jesus at any moment, and we need to live a life that glorifies God in each moment. And we need to go through persecution for his glory and for his kingdom. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.